So last night I did a live, and I didn't expect people to actually show up, especially not that many people. That's a lot of people that came to my live, and I completely appreciate it because honestly, I don't expect anybody. I don't really expect people to actually watch my stuff, and I don't expect people to like even come to the live. I was expecting like at least maybe like three people: Truant, Emperor Megas, and maybe Amelia Smart if she had time or whatever. But like I didn't expect. I think at some point I had like 12 people on there at once. That's mind blowing to me. So I wanted, and I know I've been kind of angrier and meaner on this channel lately, and I don't really want to be. So I just want y'all to understand that, like it's the environment and the climate that I'm living in, and it's kind of like is making itself very known that I feel like things are going to be a little ridiculous from now on, and this is just me trying to sort of come to grips with it. But thank y'all for the support, like for all the support. Like seriously, like I didn't think I was gonna make it past 360 some subscribers, and now I'm like at least a good 50, if not 60, away from 2,000. It's nothing short of spectacular that actually has happened, like throughout the course of this year. You know what I'm saying? And it really helps a lot to know that y'all have really kind of made it very clear that y'all willing to just sit and listen to a guy talk. Like I can assure y'all, and I want y'all to understand, this channel is a lot more than just bashing right wingers. Okay, it's more than that. It's like like it is a channel dedicated to me, so to speak. It's very self-centered, I know, but I feel like everybody's channel should be dedicated to them. Like you're all very interesting, and like there's a whole bunch of walks of life that we don't know about because you haven't revealed yourself to the world yet. So I feel like the world should definitely know who you are. But in the process of me revealing myself to the world and getting people to know exactly who I am, I can't help but thank y'all for supporting the channel. And what about the hate watchers? Nope. I'm not gonna say thank you to them. I mean, thanks for the views, but like, I'm not about to gaslight myself into appreciating people who either A, want my downfall to happen, or are B, just mean people. Like I don't have time for that. Like, I mean, I'd rather thank the people who are nice to me because they don't get it. People who do good things and nice people in general don't get enough credit for simply existing. We live in a world that's getting crueler by the second. We live in a world that's getting meaner by the second. We live in a world where people are becoming more selfish, more more negative, and more just bashingly cruel. So the fact that so it's like so to know that there's people out there who aren't trying to be that way, thank y'all. Thank you for like letting the world letting it know that like that we don't have to be this way. We don't have to be cruel. We don't have to be mean. We don't have to accept you know that as the way that the world has to be. We can be nicer to each other. We can be kinder to each other, or we can just leave each other alone. I mean, that's not outside of the list of things to do. You don't have to be bullies, you know, and that means the world to me. As I said before in my live, in a world where everybody is an edge lord, mean spirited, like 4chan, like whatever, we're starting to being revolutionary is just simply being nice to people or just being kind to people, but also not being too nice to a point where you're just gonna let somebody walk all over you and your human rights. You know what I mean? But I can assure you guys, like I said, it's definitely like a step. It's definitely like it took me a step backwards to realize that there are in fact people who are willing to I'm a relatively small channel. I don't have 10,000 subscribers. I don't even have 5,000 subscribers. It took me almost 20 years to get to get 1,000 subscribers. So, it's really like I don't know where I'm going with this video, but I'm grateful for y'all. Like I'm grateful for the people who popped up every so often to just say, hey, I just saw your video. I like it. I like what you're doing. Keep what you're doing. Like, I want y'all to know that I see you and I appreciate y'all very much because it helps. Like sometimes I think that my words are falling upon deaf ears, if not any ears at all. And honestly, I'm cool with that because I've said before, I'd rather have no audience than a right wing audience because, if I had like a right wing audience, they would just be like I will have to ask myself what it is that I'm doing wrong because why do these people keep flocking to me? But I do 100% appreciate y'all for popping up, showing up, and everything like that. I do intend on going live a lot more down the line because I do like the conversations I have. I also like the people who stick around, and I like the people who show the recurring guests that show up. It's a very nice thing to kind of see you guys, um, and it means a lot. It really does. But like I said before, like outside of like I don't want y'all to think that I'm just bullying right wingers. Okay, it's nothing like that. It's just that like it's just me responding to what I get. You know what I'm saying? If people give me a rough time, I got a reason to make a video and basically say, hey, this guy gave me a rough time. I don't like them. But like it's more than that. I'm more than just that. Like right now, as of right now, to talk about something completely different other than politics. I am currently reading. I'm a big fan of DC Comics, and so when you think of DC, you think of Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League. But with me, I like diving deeper into the DC lore because I'm a big fan of Deadman and the Spectre and Black Lightning and I've always been a big fan of. I also am starting to get a new appreciation for Green Arrow, even though right now his role in Absolute Power is a bit questionable. I also like the tragic characters like Jason Todd and Roy Harper, and I also like Cyborg. I'm a big Cyborg fan. I realize now that like my genre of superheroes is my favorite genre of superhero is like the science and technology based ones because a lot of those guys are just really 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 are just normal people who just happen to be really smart and they know how to kind of turn their environment into something that benefits them. And I feel like that is a good metaphor for like something that's realistic, something that you can kind of nobody can I can't read a Superman comic and be like I can fly, you know what I'm saying? I can't look at but I can I can read about a science hero who basically made a suit that made them fly in the air. That's believable. That's something that we could actually do if we're smart enough. Like mechanical engineering, that should be a thing. Stuff like that should motivate like people wanting to get into mechanical engineering and stuff like that. There's a whole fiction, I feel like fiction. I feel like we kind of got fiction wrong a little bit. Fiction is supposed to motivate us towards leading us towards like positive change, and motivating positive change while also being mindful of the negative change that can happen. And instead, people are just like pretty lights, fights, and loud sounds. Yay, and and it's nice. You know what I'm saying? It's very satisfying to see that. But so there's that. But yeah, like I'm loving, and I especially Green Arrow, specifically Oliver Queen and his I love his family because his family is basically the Batman family but with arrows, but also Oliver is he's anti-capitalist. Like a lot, if you read up on a lot of the characters now and read up on them back then, because they're ultimately just being rewritten. They're ultimately just being given their old values from like the earlier comics and just hyping that stuff up to 100 because because Green Arrow was supposedly like Robin Hood, right? So he was always anti-capitalist. You know what I mean? Just like how Superman is an immigrant, so he's very much immigration based person, and Batman is mentally is he has mental problems. I mean, you don't see stuff like that as a kid and not undergo some sort of trauma. not undergo some kind of trauma that motivates you to be to be. It's like you also have to take into consideration that he has this trauma and he also has access to money. He could have easily been an evil person, and instead he chose to be a good person instead. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, not so much to those who stand against him, but casualties. But casualties with no non-fatal casualties. They will get pieced up though. That's what I'm saying though. Is that like but that's definitely like, and I also, but also because like I'm too poor to get both Marvel and DC. I do want to read up on Marvel comics, and I also use a library app called Comics Plus, as I mentioned multiple times before. Is it called Comics Plus? Hold on, I want to say it's called Library Plus. I talk too much. I know. I'm gonna try to find that app real quick. Um, I want to say it's called Library Plus. Yeah, it's Comics Plus or Library Plus, and that's something that I use to read comics that aren't Marvel and DC. So I read like a lot of Valiant on there. There's this series that's coming out. It's called Ianu, which is made by Roya Akupa. I hope I'm saying his name right. And I'm loving that as well. It's definitely like one of my it's definitely one of my favorites because I like that concept of it, and also is a big part of this big universe, like because it's not just Ianu, it's Wind Waker, it's Malika, it's all of this is big universe. Like we if I want it to succeed, but even if it doesn't, I'm gonna watch it anyway because like I'm gonna watch it anyway and support it anyway because I love stuff like that, you know. The comic is also like well written and well run too. But that's what I'm saying. Like that. But what I'm trying to point out is that like I am more than just politics. Like I've always been like I like video games. I like comics. I do like works of fiction, and I do like works of fiction. I do like speaking about things that I do enjoy, and I want y'all to know that that's me as well. I'm just very frustrated about how things are currently going, and I'm a little nervous, you know. But I say this with the most hypocritical energy on the planet. Um, in the upcoming, in the upcoming months, we all we got. So I say we got to just start, working with our community. We kind of have to start like kind of working amongst each other. We got to get to know each other as people and realize that we have to help each other because we're going to be all we have in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? And that, we money can't be our greatest asset. We have to be our greatest asset for each other. It can't just our wealth needs to be in our sense of community. You know what I'm saying? And I say that as somebody who has actively stated and will actively act on not wanting to interact with right wingers and Trump supporters and the like. But I want y'all to understand because even though I'm not doing it, I'm not telling you not to do it. If you have somebody that you truly care about who is, of that persuasion politically, by all means, like if you want to keep up with them, keep up with them. But just know that they're not going to sit at my table. They can sit at your table. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to break bread with people who are actively trying to harm other people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can change them or convince them otherwise, or you see the good in them, more power to you. But I know for a fact that as I am preaching the word of, coming together with your community, I'm also being hypocritical because I'm saying, yeah, everybody except those guys. I totally get how terrible I sound. I'm willing to own that because I rather own my bigoted take on some people who I genuinely think are just cruel rather than accept them and let them continue to be cruel. Like, if I'm Elon Musk right now, I am fuming at the fact that, all it took was to get people to leave a site as popular as Twitter to go to Blue Sky and Threads and all these other sites. Like, if I'm Elon Musk, I am angry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all it took was for him to be a part of it and turn it into a right wing safe space. And now people are like, we want nothing to do with that. We want nothing to do with you or them. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's wild to me. like I feel like we kind of do need, it's like, we shouldn't have to accept and be cool with stuff that we don't want to be cool with or accept. You know, you got like, just because you guys won doesn't mean we have to like you. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Either be likable people or leave everybody alone. It's just that simple. But what I'm simply saying, specifically for me anyway, is that like, currently right now we do, currently, but like I will say that in a wake of my bigoted take towards the right wing, I also still want to say we gotta come together as a community. We have to band together and figure out what we're gonna do to help each other out, because things are gonna start getting more expensive. So now we're gonna need to figure out how we're gonna get food. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff is gonna get more challenging. So now we have to figure out how we're gonna help each other to overcome those challenges. We got to become ants now. You know what I mean? Like when you think of an ant, you think of the ant hill. You think of the ants, and you think of the ant hill. But the ant hills are much bigger, much bigger, super big, really big. I'm not saying burrow underground, but what I am saying is work together so that if we do get driven underground, we'll be able to at least make a community just as big and just as fruitful and just as beneficial as we did on land. I hope you got understood the allegory. I think I was trying to go for Demolition Man style reference here. In any case, though, but yeah, like I said, we all we got, and I'm saying this for me. I I I'm not like we all we got, but right wingers, you got to go over there. This is your fault. We seen what you guys did to America. We seen what you guys did to Twitter. You got to go. Y'all kill things. Y'all hurt people too much. Go over there. We all we got. But if you want to, like I said, if you feel like you can change them, all means. Who boy, I went from saying thank you to saying yo we gotta be like, but to keep things light, to go back to being positive. To go back to being positive though, I 100% am very thankful for y'all for popping up and like showing out for my lives and coming in to let me know like very appreciative. I will probably do that a lot more. You know, try to get as much content out there as I can. And thanks again. I can't stress this enough. Thanks again. Um, all right, I gotta go get ready for work. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. I mean, remember, being mean is mainstream. Being nice is punk rock. Be punk rock. You know what I'm saying? Show people kindness. Show people love. Even if, even at this point now, be like, even if they're evil, show them love, but don't let them overtake your space. You know what I'm saying? Evil people still deserve compassion, and evil people still deserve love and care, but they don't deserve a spot in your space if you don't want them to be there. Don't let them overtake your space, but treat them like people. All right, I'm out. Yeah, let's go get ready for work.